Okay, so we're all talking about the AI revolution, right? The models, the data, the code. But have you ever stopped to think about what it's all physically made of? What does this revolution actually run on? Well, the answer is hiding in plain sight, in a place you would probably never guess.
We all say it. The cloud. It sounds so abstract, doesn't it? So light and airy, like it's just floating around up there above our heads.
Yeah, but here's the thing, that's totally wrong. The digital world has a very real, very heavy physical home. So if it's not up there, where is it? That's right, the actual physical backbone of our entire global internet. Everything from your Netflix stream to the most powerful AI on the planet is a massive, sprawling network of cables snaking across the dark, cold bottom of the ocean. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it's the backbone. Look at this number. Over 99%, more than 99% of all data that crosses an ocean goes through these subsea cables. What about satellites? Yeah, they handle less than 1%. They're a tiny, tiny fraction. Every time you send a file to a colleague overseas, it's going for a deep-sea dive. And the scale of this thing, it is just mind-boggling. We are talking about almost 1.5 million kilometers of cable laid out on the seabed. To put that into perspective, that's enough to wrap around the entire Earth more than 37 times. This isn't just a few wires, it's a piece of planetary-scale infrastructure. So how did we even build this? Well, this incredible network didn't just pop up overnight. Its story is one of more than 150 years of wild engineering, starting with simple electrical sparks and evolving all the way to, well, the speed of light. It all kicked off way back in 1858 with the very first telegraph cable laid across the Atlantic. Then, in the late 1980s, everything changed. We had a revolution. We switched from sending clunky electrical pulses down copper wires to shooting flashes of light through strands of glass that are thinner than a human hair. And today, the amount of data one of these cables can carry is almost beyond comprehension. And this really puts that leap into perspective, doesn't it? That very first message back in the day from Queen Victoria, it took over 17 hours just to send one short message. Today, a single fiber-optic cable can blast the data equivalent of millions of movies across the ocean in a few milliseconds. That is the insane power of moving at the speed of light. So for years, this network has been humming along, handling all our streaming, our social media, our emails, you name it. But now, a new force is showing up and putting a level of demand on these cables that we have never seen before. And you know what it is. It's artificial intelligence. See, the thing about AI is that its needs are just different. This isn't just about sending more data, like a bigger video file. AI is fundamentally changing what we need the internet to do. It needs a network that is faster, more responsive, and way more interconnected than anything we've ever needed before. It really boils down to three key things. First up, training. AI models have to hoover up unimaginable amounts of data from the entire internet to learn. Second, inference. When you ask a chatbot a question, you expect an answer instantly. That answer has to travel across oceans with basically zero delay, or what we call low latency. And third, and this is a big one, synchronization. AI models are so huge now that they have to run across multiple data centers around the world. And all those data centers have to be perfectly in sync, acting like one single, giant distributed AI brain. So all this crazy demand from AI, it's kicking off what's basically a new gold rush on the ocean floor. And the people who are digging for that gold are not who you might think. For most of internet history, these cables were built by massive groups of old-school telecom companies. But that era, it's pretty much over. There's a new class of owner that has taken control of the high seas. And you know who they are. The tech giants, the hyperscalers, we're talking Google, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft. They now own or lease about half of all the usable bandwidth under the ocean. Think about that. A handful of tech companies now control a massive chunk of the physical pathways of our entire digital world. So why are they spending billions on these private data highways? I mean, a single cable can cost over $300 million. Well, it's because controlling the physical wire gives them a massive edge in the AI race. They can build their own private routes, taking the shortest possible path between their global data centers to cut down on that lag, that latency. In the world of AI, shaving off even a few milliseconds can mean a huge competitive advantage. But here's the catch.
When you concentrate so much of the world's data and power into these thin, physical wires lying on the ocean floor, they become a huge point of vulnerability. Now, you might be surprised to hear this, but most of the time, like 70 to 80% of the time, the problem is just a fishing boat or a ship dropping anchor in the wrong place. Simple accidents. But the bigger worry, the one that keeps national security folks up at night, is deliberate sabotage or espionage. As these cables become more critical, nations are getting more and more worried that rivals could try to sever or even tap into these vital data arteries.
So, as we barrel towards this future that's completely wrapped up in AI, we need a new way to think about this hidden network.
These aren't just pipes for data anymore. Think of it like this. They are becoming the planet's central nervous system. They are the physical pathways connecting all of our collective human intelligence with this new emerging artificial intelligence. And that makes this network, well, unbelievably important. For a nation today, securing these data highways under the sea is just as vital to its economic and military power as securing oil tanker routes was in the last century.
So, the next time you ask an AI a question and get an answer in a split second, just remember that incredible journey. Remember that your question traveled through a hidden world of wires beneath the waves, a world that's no longer a silent abyss, but is now center stage in the competition that's going to define our future.